Welcome to Strong Woman Highs - Life's a Mishmash. We are here at Hull's Strongest. Whoop, whoop. Bit of an exciting one. Instead of being online, we have managed to make it in person, which is the goal of most of my podcasts, but online is just easier. So I know the sound quality shit. Apologies. I don't care anymore. Past it. So today we have a very special guest, Holly Ford, joining us.
Oh, hit my microphone.
It's all right. They'll still pick up the sound. Yeah, so do you want to give us a little elevator pitch? Who are you? What you've been doing?
I am an open weight strong woman. Open weight strong woman, most people know me now because I broke my back.
Most well known for breaking my back.
Most well known for breaking my back. Not for any of the things that I did prior to that. It's just like, oh, that's a girl that broke her back. I'm like, oh, thanks, guys. That's demoralising. Very mediocre, open weight strong woman. Beaten Becca quite a few times, which is nice.
Yeah, definitely beat me quite a few times, a lot of times.
I mean, I think we're like on par now.
I think I've only beat you once.
No, you haven't. You beat me like at least 3 times.
No, Teesside.
Teesside. Before that, there were another comp.
There wasn't. I've not beat you. Did we do England's against each other?
Yeah, we did.
As in Glenn's England's? No.
No. But that first England's.
No, you beat me.
Yeah, and you beat me in the qualifier. You came second, I came third.
All right, okay, fine. I'll take that. Yeah, actually, I did. Yeah, I did beat you in the qualifier. Yeah, because Rebecca came first, didn't she?
Yeah.
Over Rebecca. Yeah, no, I did. And then when you beat me at England, it really upset me. Even though we were both like 6th and 7th.
I didn't care.
At the bottom of the pack. Yeah, no.
I pooed myself that day. It was a terrible day for me.
I think it was a terrible day for most of us, to be honest. That was the day that Donna tore her bicep off, which if you'd watched previous episodes of Strong Woman Highs, me and Donna have already previously discussed as well.
Yeah. Tara Dwyer denied me a hug that day. I was really upset, but I had just shat myself, so understandable.
Why would you want a hug from him?
I don't know. I was just like elated. I was just like, oh my God.
It's Tara Dwyer.
It's Tara Dwyer. I've just done my first England.
Oh God!
I walked around like I owned the place for like a solid few weeks.
I think that's more embarrassing that you wanted a hug of Tara Dwyer than that you've broken your back.
Yeah, true. In all fairness, Pa, I know you don't watch this, but he did know me the following. I know, he did know me the following year. Not for being Holly Ford, but he was like, "Oh yeah, you're the girl that shot yourself, didn't you?" And I was like, "Oh right, yeah, I was. Yeah, that was me."
As if so you went for a hug and told him that you'd shot yourself?
Yeah, I don't have a filter, mate. Like, fucking, I told you I shot myself in the car today. No, I didn't shit myself in the car.
Yeah, not in my car, thankfully. I can't believe that's what you led with when he denied. Did he deny you a hug before or after you told him that you'd shit yourself?
Well, it didn't make it. Oh God, I don't want to say his name, but a certain Stoltman was commentating mine and your stern run.
What?
He shall not be named. Yeah, he was commentating it, and I peed myself quite badly. And he went, "Oh, she's peed herself," and then
cheers.
And I was like, "Oh, cheers, mate." And then he went, "Oh, she's really peed herself now," and I was like, "Oh, thanks, pal." But I wasn't. I was pissing and shitting myself. I had food poisoning. It was really bad.
Yeah, terrible time. What starts the podcast though? Watch it, talk immediately. Okay then. Anything else we should know about you before we go into it? Apart from that you've broke your back and you constantly shit yourself? Any other accolades you'd like to tell us about?
I don't know. I used to have a pretty good deadlift, I guess. You've still got a good deadlift now.
Deadlift, to be fair.
No, I don't know. Just probably still quite new to the sport, like what this is. I'm coming into my 4th year now.
Yeah, you started just after me, didn't you, again? About a year and a half after me, didn't you?
So since then, I've kind of just continuously tried to be a nuisance to anybody I can be to. And I know that annoys quite a lot of people, but at least I own it. So I continuously try and be a nuisance. I will continuously try and push people off podiums. I take quite a lot of joy in that.
Fair, 100%.
But if you're not being competitive and you're not trying to push for a podium, then what are you doing it for?
What's the fucking point? That's a very good point. Well, questions. I've sent you them. I'd sent you them, didn't I? No,
yeah.
Probably.
You did.
Fucking well done me. Well done past me. So, what has been your strong woman high?
I think it's going to surprise everyone because it's not something like, it's never been a podium. Because for me, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I'm a bit of a knobhead with it, and I will just keep being like, trying to annoy people to get an extra rep on something or beat someone's time or whatever to be on a podium. It's never a podium, because I don't know, like I'm just not that kind of person. The next day you're just a normal person again.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's a fall from grace, isn't it?
Yeah, you're just like, I've just won something, and then you're like, oh shit, yeah, I'm still a mum. I still have to go into work tomorrow. This is great.
Yeah.
I think it's just year after year just being better, I guess. I was going to say it's every time I've beaten you, but I've already said that. So
It's already been brought up in the podcast. It's fine.
So yeah, I think it's just every year just getting better and better. And I think for me as well, Strong Woman High for me is massively, and this is not a promotion for this, but seeing Nowell grow has been incredible. Like,
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk a little bit about Nowell then? So for people that don't know, what is Nowell?
Nowell is Northern Amateur Women's League. So I and myself and Mr. Hull's strongest, Ben Grant, decided to create a bit of a women's league. And it's for sort of like your grassroots athletes, people that are looking to kind of progress or want a community to stand by and those kind of things and get that support and have fun events. But also get the experience of kind of going through a qualifier and a finals. So when they do step up to say like UKNS, BNSF or WEA, whatever it's calling itself this year, or like your OSGs and stuff, they've got that prior experience of being refed quite harshly, going through a qualification process and into a finals where it is a lot more competitive, quicker, heavier, etc. And wanted to create that, but it's Nowell is solely for women.
Yeah.
There is no male athletes. It's run by women. Ben obviously is our big man that's behind it, but it's run by women, for women. We have female refs. We always get the top refs. Donna is reffing 2 of our events this year.
Nice.
We always have great refs who always want to share knowledge and all the rest of it. And we try and give everything back to the athletes. If that's free media, if that's a free physio, if that's prize money or really nice trophies, not like £5 ones that you just get from Trophy Shop. We do get nice trophies. And it's all those little things like getting your name on the back of a t-shirt. I remember the first time I got my name on the back of a t-shirt, I was like, oh my God, I'm amazing.
I totally agree. I fucking loved it when I got my name on a t-shirt. And now I've got hundreds of them. I'm like, fucking waste of time. But with that first one, you're always like, I've made it now, boys.
I've done it. But it's all those little things that I think it's just being as an athlete, like even at your grassroots levels, like you put so much into it and you take that step out of your comfort zone from being just like a gym goer and doing it for fun to actually being like, yeah, I actually want to do this.
Yeah.
And I think giving people that experience, I know like from where we've been, like my first 2 comps were car park comps.
Yeah.
And I went straight from 2 car park comps, albeit they were good, but to a national pathway where I had no experience of how it was going to be run. And it was so fucking scary. So if I can just give a small amount of people that experience to make it easier for them.
Yeah. So 100%. That's what I like about Nowell so much, because it's that middle ground of we're not at a novice car park comp, but we're not at like a serious qualifier national level pathway. There's that perfect middle ground, especially for women as well, because it's a safer place. Like, it's all women. We're not dealing with angry strongmen throwing their belts around and kicking the fuck off. It's just women. They run really smoothly and really well. Like all the ones I've been to, they've been a perfect setup of a comp, and it's just that great middle ground. So if you're like a woman, you've done one novice comp and you're like, where am I going now? I don't want to do another novice comp, but I also don't want to do a national pathway. Nowell, like there's a perfect gap in the market for it, wasn't there?
Yeah, 100%. And I think like you're right. Like we try and run them like in like true pathways. Like we keep it quite strict. Like if you're not there, then you're not doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like we try and keep it like that. Like if me or you ever went to OSG and we weren't ready to go, when the calls up,
just
like
get missed. Yeah.
See ya, goodbye.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it's that kind of little bit of pressure. We do run them up and down the country now as well. We wear exclusively the north.
Yeah.
But we have got qualifiers down south now as well, which makes it pretty accessible. Yeah.
100%. I think if you're in that scenario now and you're a strong woman sort of going, I don't know what to do next, I don't want to take that step, then I would definitely get in touch with Holly and get into Nowell, because it's very good. I'll be commentating as well. So.
It's good fun. Just have to deal with me.
Just got to deal with me first. So then, what's your strong woman low?
not breaking my back. Breaking my back's been pretty good fun.
I was going to say, I'd be surprised, I think, if you say breaking your back, because I feel like it's not a great thing to happen, but I don't think it's been a low. I think the way you've bounced back from it, we'll talk about the broken back in a second, but you're a low first.
My other low, I think, was, in all honesty, was last year's England's qualifiers.
Right.
I was in a terrible place mentally. I won't talk too much on it. I just found out that my dad was very, very poorly. I didn't have a great relationship with him, but found out my dad was very poorly.
Yeah.
I was going through what we could do there, and all the rest of it. I was under so much stress with work, and I just couldn't see a way out of it. And I think it was like 2 weeks prior to England's, I tried to make a permanent choice on a temporary feeling.
Right.
I saw you at that event, and you were just like, you like came up behind me and shook me and was like, "Where's Holly?"
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was like, "Oh God, oh God!" Like, we won't get serious, but no, it was just a really hard time, and like I think prior to that, a lot of people, I'd done a lot of media. There was a lot of media. Like I'd done podcasts and then videos, and then being asked to be like, do photography for X, Y, and Z, and and then being like having work and my kids, and I had so much smoke blown up my ass that I was something special, and I was just like, I'd put so much effort into training, but subsequently I'd had in that block up to England's, which is no excuse, but in that block up to England's, I had COVID twice.
Yeah.
Like I had COVID, and I was like, well, I'm going to just continue training, which was the worst thing that I could have done. I should have just listened to my body and just been like, time to rest, Hall.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I have to be the best. And I just put myself in this really, really terrible place. I didn't listen to my body. I didn't listen to anybody around me. I was just like, no, this is what I'm doing. And I think it was a time as well where like I had a lot of pressure, not from the people in my circle, but people exterior to that, giving me opinions about what I should do in regards to being natty or not natty and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, well, if I made that choice, I need to really know that I can make that choice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was like, it's this kind of, it was just this boiling pot of like having terrible news, going through, I think it was the weeks before or just after that I'd been promoted.
Yeah.
So I'd been put under so much pressure at work and everything else, and I was just like, no way out of this other than doing a quick French exit forever.
Oh God.
The forever French exit.
Bye bye.
Goodbye, Hall. But no, I didn't make that choice. I very sternly sat down with my coach and said, I don't want to feel like this anymore, mate. And John, again, never going to watch this, mate, but John was a real good help in that. Like, he really was. Like, I think what people forget is that as much as I mask as well as I can, I am very, very autistic.
Yeah.
So when I have lots of exterior pressure, I just kind of absorb it all and then explode outwardly. And that could either be me just being like, fuck all of this, or me just being like, I'm done. And just being like, no, I'm done.
Yeah. It's interesting, and I wonder whether like the pressure of like, how do you deal with the pressure of strongman and being autistic? There's a loaded question for you.
I'm just going to look into the void for a second. So I am very, very linear. Okay, so in a day-to-day setting, especially in training and competing, I'm going to give all of my autistic tips away here. I drill everything that I can in the gym exactly how I would do it in comp.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's no question about it. Like literally to the way the music that I listen to in warm up, like I have a specific playlist that is that playlist for that session, and it sounds really, really anal, but it's just how it works. Like for me, like, okay, we'll talk about deadlifts, but for me, I will, in my prep for that comp, and I'm going to give my big secret away here, but I will continuously hit 7 reps.
Right.
Every single time at comp weight.
Yeah.
If you ever see me do a reppy thing that is within my range, I'll hit 7 reps.
Right, okay.
Because that's where my autism says that is a good, because that's what I've done in the gym.
Right, okay.
And then every rep after that in my head is a bonus.
Right, okay, yeah.
So I just do that with everything.
Yeah.
The only thing that I struggle with is one, how I mask around people, because I'll either mask and be like super serious and be like, don't look at me.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody.
I'm too serious.
I don't even like the air that you breathe, kind of serious. Or I will go completely try to piss everybody else off around me. And again, I don't mean to be. I just act a class clown and just act a bit of a tit, and subsequently perform very well.
Fair. Fair. No, that's fine. So with the 7 reps then, is that 7 reps on everything, or is that just you have a set number of reps that you know you're going to hit?
Yeah.
Right. And
So
you practice that in the gym. You know that that's a given. So anything else on comp day is the bonus.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, that's just a fucking good training tip, mate. Because I feel like that's what I do as well. Like, I'm like, I know I'll get this, but maybe I might get more.
But it's the same with like farmers. Like farmers, every run that I do in the gym for training, I split time it.
Yeah.
So I'll split time every run that I do.
Yeah.
And then every run I do after that, I just aim to beat it.
Yeah.
Every single time. And then when I go into comp, I'm like, cool, okay, well, I know my normal range is here to here.
Yeah.
So if I get anything in between that or before that, I know I've done well.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. What do you think then your biggest struggle is being autistic in strongman? I'm on a fucking roll with these big loaded questions now.
People.
Just because I think this is interesting. If there's someone who's watching this who is autistic and is like, I'd quite like to get into strongman, this is a bit of a resource, isn't it?
I think the biggest struggle for me, and it's been something like, again, like I have AUDHD, so I have autism and ADHD. So anybody that comments on this going, you should be medicated, why do you do this? I can't, all right? It's really hard. The main struggles that I have in autism is, and like strongman, is noise. So like in the gym setting, like you've trained with me quite a few times.
Yeah.
I walk around with my headphones in all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not that I have music on the majority of the time. It's just that the noise outside of what my little bubble is
just
too
dampens
much.
it off, yeah.
That and people, like, I know people love to give like, oh, you've done really well, pat on the back or like a hug or something. I'm like, don't fucking touch me.
I'm not a huggy, but I don't think we've ever hugged in our lives.
No. Oh no, we did in hospital when I was like absolutely high on my tits on morphine.
Yeah, I gave you a hug then. You broke your back though, so I felt like that was fair.
That was so good. They kept coming around and being like, are you in pain? And I wasn't in pain. I was like,
Yes.
I was just like, I'm in so much pain.
Dying.
Please give me more morphine.
Fucking hell.
I'm a terrible person. We all know this. No, it's just noise. Like, I think noise and people. And I think when we start to like break down like how autism actually sites within a lot of people, women deal with it very differently to men.
Yeah.
Like they do. And for me, it's like I can mask to a certain point.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm kind of just like, and I think you've probably seen me in a bit of a state. You saw me in that England's qualifiers and I was in a fucking state that day. Because I just couldn't regain.
Yeah, I couldn't
like,
get that control back.
Yeah, and like when I train or when I compete, that moment, that minute of me doing that deadlift, doing that overhead and stuff like that is me losing control for a second.
Yeah.
And I have to really quickly regain it again.
Yeah.
And that's just a learnt skill over 4 years.
Yeah.
Which is why like at Europe's this year, I didn't do as well as, I did as well as I wanted to. I wanted to place 7th or above, and I placed 7th. I was very happy with that. The Opens was pretty fucking stacked.
Yeah.
And the entire weekend, I didn't switch that mask off.
Yeah.
I just kept it on the entire time.
But that must be exhausting.
It is exhausting. I went for a swim in the lake after day 1 and I was just like, I nearly drowned twice.
I'm so tired.
I'm so tired, help me.
I'm not going to fucking swim. I went to bed. Fuck that.
Oh, I needed to go and like re-ground myself and just sit somewhere quiet. What you've met Abby today.
Yeah.
What Abby didn't tell me is she can't swim.
Right.
So we got in the lake and
Why'd you go swimming if you can't swim?
well, this is my thing. I said to her, I was just like, we're gonna go swimming after day 1. Like, be real nice, chill, like a little bit of like cold therapy, because our cold therapy is so good for autism. Cold therapy, it'll reset my head, and then we'll go for some food.
Yeah.
She got in the lake, she walked away where like she walked to the point where she couldn't touch the floor anymore, and she was like on her tippy toes, and she was like going up here, and I was like, Abby, you need
Swim.
to I was like, swim, and she was like, I've never been taught how to swim. I was just like, why did you agree to this?
Oh my God.
I was like, God love you. But then like,
This
how
nice, calm, relaxing night, and then Abby drowns.
I've got the video somewhere of Abby just like paddling like this with both hands. I was like, oh no.
Oh my God. Okay, now.
No, that and her asking if there's frogs in here. She was like, will there be frogs in here? Oh, Alza was swimming around. I was like, yeah, of course there'll be frogs in here. She was like, fucking petrified of frogs. I was just like, going to a natural lake, babe.
Yeah, I feel like this just isn't for you. You can't swim, you hate frogs. This is probably the worst place ever. That was nice of you to take her there anyway, though.
It was really good. I took her to Nando's afterwards.
A treat. So then, broken back. I think we're going to have to go over this. You can just do a fucking whistle stop tour if you don't want to talk about it.
Oh no, it's all right. Holly was stupid. End of story. Broken back. No, no.
Well, there was a build up to it. We know why. Well, we sort of know why it happened, didn't we?
Yeah, kind of. I'm still a bit going on what the surgeon said and being like, there was no reason for this to happen at all.
Just complete random freak accident.
Complete freak accident. No, I decided for whatever reason to compete 3 weekends on the trot.
But out of those competitions, how many had max deadlifts?
2.
Right. Here lies the problem.
The first one was the one at Steel Sea.
Yeah, Middlesbrough, yeah, which was a raw max deadlift.
Yeah, which was fucking awful. I had a twinkle of lower back grumbles then. And I was just like, it's because I've seen my physio, it'll be fine. And did that. And then we did York.
Yeah, really heavy. Yeah, that 260, wasn't it?
And for whatever reason, I decided to do like the Holly Spectacular jerk maneuver under that log as well.
Oh yeah. No, that was a bit exciting as well. Yeah,
I did the one, and then I was just like, not gonna do another. I'm gonna clean it. I'm not gonna do another.
No.
In all fairness, and again, I'm gonna apologise to somebody. I'm so sorry, Alice. I was a bit of a knobhead to you that day, but.
You were a bit of a number to everyone that day, to be fair, though. When we were doing that grip bit and you were just ripping people. I was like, shut up, Holly.
You're going to get fucking
It's too much.
Oh, I didn't mean to. There was just a girl screaming at it instead of doing anything. I was like, stop fucking screaming at it and pick it up.
I don't think so. That's what I wanted to hear, to be honest. But anyway, so we did Middlesbrough's, didn't we? And that was heavy.
Yeah, that was heavy. Was it heavy?
It was relative, wasn't it?
It was relative. The York was light, but everything else was heavy.
It was heavy. That's heavy.
That's not heavy.
It is.
So we did that, and then 3 days after that, I flew out to Madrid.
Yeah.
After getting a 6-hour train up to Edinburgh.
Genius.
It was a great idea whilst recovering. And I went to Madrid with Miss Greener. And we did the Arnold's Amateur European Championships, which was really good fun. Anyone that wants an international comp, get some experience, that is your one to go to.
Yeah, really good comp.
A very good comp. And you get cash in hand on the day, which is fucking
hell yeah.
stunning. Went there, had no issues at all other than with sandbags. Sandbags felt like shit, and that's a very good event for me. Felt absolutely god awful. Everything else was fine. Play a second, again, very good comp. And then got back in the country on the Wednesday and competed on the Saturday. And for whatever reason, so I had a little fuck it moment, which is typically when I do something really stupid, and hence why I have a scar on the back of my hand and a big scar on my knee and now a big scar on my back.
There's a common theme with these fuck it moments.
I know.
They end in trauma.
I traumatized so many people that day, and again, this is just going to be like a me apology talk, isn't it?
Just apologising.
I'm so sorry to the entire community for all of the trauma that I caused you. So, did my log felt good, got 85, was like, yay, got 85 kilos again. It was a bit of a ropey rep, but it is what it is. There's pictures of me, and I have bags under my eyes like this, and I just look so fucking pissed off. I was just like, I don't want to be here.
No.
But there was money on each category, so I was just like, well, if I can go and win at least 2 categories, then I've recouped some money from
Madrid. Yeah.
Madrid. Because I did as soon as I got that cash in my hand, I was like, $1 bills!
Hell yeah.
Like, we're going to go and party. And we didn't. We got a pizza and then went to sleep. It was
Nice.
very
It's
boring.
enough of a party for me.
But yeah, did that, did my log, felt fine, warmed up for my deadlift, opened at 225.
Mhm.
Absolutely flew up. Then went to 235, absolutely flew up. And then for whatever reason, I decided that 247.5 kilos was the best jump to make. I think
Yeah.
I went over to Ben because Ben was doing, again, Mr. Grant, Mr. Hull Strongest, was doing the scoring and all the rest of it. And I went over and, again, I'm sorry for this, but I went over and I said, how much would I have to lift to win pound for pound as well?
This was a pure monetary decision.
So it was a pure transactional choice. And he went 240.
Oh, so obviously you thought, let's add 7.5 kilos.
I was just like,
why would I do more?
I was just like, yeah, but closer to 250 is cooler, innit? Like, I can almost claim that I pulled 250 if I pulled 247. Almost.
What was your max prior to this? You pulled
About I've pulled 230 multiple times and for reps.
Yeah. So 245, 247 isn't out of the realms of possibility, was it?
No, and fuck me, it moved.
Yeah.
Like, it really moved.
To a certain point.
So I went into it, did exactly the same, was in my suit, feet nice and close, rolled the bar out, rolled the bar back in, dropped that hips, shot up to about here, and then all of a sudden it was like a gunshot. And my knees, I've never been in this position in a sit before, but the bar just went straight back down in a nice straight line, and my knees just came up to my chest like this. And I sat there on the floor and whimpered for a second, and Ben was like, oh shit, she's not getting off the floor.
Oh no.
And to this day, it kind of haunts me a little bit because people have sent me this snippet. The people that have sent me this snippet need to bore off. Of me whimpering to Ben saying, because I didn't want anyone else to hear it, but me whimpering to Ben saying, I can't feel my legs. And Ben just being like, okay.
Oh no. This is not good.
And taking my hands off the bar and then just scooping me up. I, again, masked as hard as I could and came back in here and laid on the floor in the studio and went very dizzy because what we now know is that my brain was repressurizing because I'd put a big hole in where my spinal column is, and it was all pissing out blood, which was great.
Yeah. It's basically just fractured your back.
Just
broke your own back.
Broke my own back just for 100 quid.
Well, welcome to Strongman.
We all asked for prize money. You've got to fucking earn it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that wasn't great, was it?
Yeah, I was stood up and walking around. I climbed over a fence to try and get into A&E.
I know you have got. I think it's worth saying that you have got one of the highest pain tolerances I've ever seen in a person. Like, and most of the time when people say to me, I've got a high pain tolerance, I'm like, fuck off, you haven't. Like, usually the people that say that are the people with the shittest pain tolerances. You're the first person who've been like, my pain tolerance is pretty high, and I'll be there digging my thumbs into your calf, and you're just like, yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. And I'm like, how? How is this fine?
It was the first time today you got a little like, ooh.
Yeah, that's literally it. I'm like, I'm there, like, fuck. I get this not out of you, whatever you're doing.
Do something, Holly.
Yeah, your pain tolerance is shockingly high, which I think is why no one really believed that you broke your back until you were in hospital on the floor. No one could move you.
I was like, yeah, no, I climbed over a fence and back over that fence because before I went in A&E, I was like, I need a bottle of Coke, mate. Like, I need something.
Obviously, you need some sustenance first. My broken back's really kicking off.
I was like, I'm starting to come down now, babe. I need something.
Yeah. So that when was that then? That's
the 19th of October.
19th of October.
Scarred on my brain.
But you were back deadlifting not long after that. Like, you had surgery, didn't you? You've had surgery to get it all drained, and then you were in hospital for a few days, weren't you? And then back out. But you're pretty much back now, really, aren't you?
Yeah. I think the thing with this is, and again, like previous sporting experiences, I've recovered a lot of fucking injuries over the years. Like, I've done my Achilles, I've done my knee, I've got metal in my hand.
Yeah.
I've done my back.
Yeah.
I've dislocated both shoulders now. Like, I'm kind of just a hodgepodge. I'm like a rag doll. I just kind of like put together. I'm
Just
like a scarecrow.
holding yourself together with metal.
Yeah. I am the bionic woman.
Yeah, you've got a good like rehab process, I feel like.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why you've come back so fast from that. So while that's terrifying that it is a possibility, you've shown that you sort of like, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's doable to come back from.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's the way you look at it. Like, again, I'm trying to do this in a neurotypical way. I just switched a bit off in my brain that's just like, you feel bad about this.
Here we stop. You're like, no, shut up.
I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. I'll never be able to deadlift again. And then I'm like, shut up, brain.
Yeah, I feel like at no point through any of that did I ever talk to you and you be like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this. And I'm sure you had those moments, but I feel like every time I spoke to you and asked you about it, you were very like, no, I will be back. Like, it's going to be shit. And it's not that you were like downplaying it, but you were very much like, yeah, this is fucking terrible, but I'll be back. Like, I'm
Yeah,
going to still
100%.
train. I'm going to still do this.
Mate, I've still got a bet on that fucking max deadlift at Steel City.
Oh my God.
Oh
my God.
I need to beat Claire Myler. That is my one goal in all of this.
Fuck's sake.
I'm gonna go pull 255 kilos raw.
Let's have a couple of years first, maybe. Let's just slow down on that train for a second.
I promised him it was going to be this year, so.
Fucking idiot, man. Right, well, if you were going to talk to baby Holly, who just
Yes.
started Strongman, what would you say? What would your advice be for people starting out?
Find the fun in it. Don't do stuff because someone's like, oh, you could do that. Do stuff that you actually look at the events and go, do you know what? That's really good fun.
Yeah.
Because I've done that so many times where I'm just like, oh, well, you know, so-and-so's doing it and they want a partner to go and do it with and just done
Yeah.
it anyway. Like, no, just go find something that you find fun. Like, I'm kind of like a bit of a learner in all of this and I kind of just compete and train on my own the entire time that I've done it. And it's the only reason I've stuck at it is because I do enjoy everything that I do. So at the beginning, I didn't enjoy any of it. I was like, I don't like traveling on my own. I don't like being here. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But no, just find the fun in it. Like at some point, we've all done this because we want to do it because it's fun. So just keep following the fun.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Chase that dopamine.
I think that's a really good point as well. And I like the way you'd said, like, don't do stuff that other people expect you to do. Because I do feel like in Strong Woman, especially, if you've got a little bit about yourself and you start doing a bit of strongman and you get good, suddenly people are like, you should do this, you know, you should do that comp, you know, you'll do really well at that comp, you know. And you do competitions, and I've done it before, where people have said that I'm going to do well at those comps, so that's the reason I've done them. And they've been shit and I've hated them. And I'm like, why the fuck would I do it? Like previous England's qualifiers, when it's so light, you're like, this is a fucking waste of my time.
Yeah.
But, oh, someone said you'll do well at that. Oh, fuck, I'll go and do it. Oh, win, boring.
Yeah, this is my thing. Like if you're not challenging yourself, like if you genuinely, and this I've just burped. I'm so sorry. It was that Greg's I had earlier.
Damn Greg's.
It was delicious. No, it comes down to questioning your own integrity.
Yeah.
I always question my own integrity. Am I doing this because it fluffs up my ego, or am I doing this because I actually find it fun or challenging? And if you are challenging yourself, people are going to start questioning that integrity for you.
It's just boring.
It's boring. I am such a trophy whore. Like, I love taking home a trophy. God damn it. Like, if I don't go home with something shiny after I compete, this is why I've had to buy my kids snow globes at so many comps.
I have to go home with something.
I have to bring them something shiny. No, I'm really mean that. Like, if you ever come to my house, mate, I will show you the snow globe
Full of
collection.
shiny things.
It's like a two bookcases full.
Okay,
This is how many comps I've done that I haven't done well in. I'm just like, here is a snow globe. Does it appease you? If I don't take home a shiny, it's like the world's ended.
Yeah.
And then they question me. They're like, well, why didn't you train hard enough? And I'm like, God
oh my God.
All right then. Yes, sir.
Absolute killer.
I don't know where I was going with that, but no, just don't be a trophy. This is my advice to anyone starting strongman. Don't be a trophy whore like I am. Don't question your own integrity, because if you don't question your own integrity and you're not challenging yourself, people will question it for you. and just follow the fun.
Yeah.
So challenge yourself, push yourself so hard that you break your back,
Don't do that.
but have fun.
Whatever you do, don't do that. Challenge yourself and push yourself and don't break your back.
Don't break your back.
It's terrible.
No. Do you know, I'm going to say this now and it's going to annoy a few people. I am so annoyed about me breaking my back in one respect, because I see so many people with such poor deadlift form pulling silly weights. Not you, but I see so many people with such bad form on deadlifts pulling silly weights, and I'm just like, I've not got the best form, but biomechanically for me, it is very good. And although Jenny will disagree, for me it works. And I see so many people doing silly things, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I broke my back, and I don't know how you keep walking. Like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, deadlifts are hard, aren't they? Because I feel like some people
deadlift is the easiest lift.
No, it's not.
It's a bar going from A to B.
You could be said of anything. You could say that about overhead.
How overhead can go in the bin.
Fucking
Have you
hypocrite.
seen how long these arms are?
You're a hypocrite. Okay, right. Well, that's good advice. Good advice. So I think we'll move on to our final section, everybody's favourite section, the silly goose section.
Oh, God.
Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where we chat a load of shit that's of absolutely no use. It's silly goose time.
Now, do you have any silly gooses you would like to bring to the table first?
I didn't, but I wanted to maybe correct a few that you've done.
Oh, for fuck's sake, right. Okay, tell me the ones that we've got wrong.
You haven't got any wrong. It's just my own personal and professional opinion on them.
Fucking hell. All right, then. Rip me a silly goose, then.
Right. The one that you did last week with Chloe about what we would do.
In the 1800s.
In the
I've asked a few
1800s.
people this question, so this will be interesting.
Geographically, it would depend where you are from and as a woman. Like, if it were me and I were in Hull, I would be either... I'd work in a brothel.
Right.
Strong.
Interesting if that's your choice.
It's not my choice. Work in a brothel, I would work in a pub, or I would work with fish.
Lovely. What choice?
I know.
Is
Either
that
way,
what
it
you
would
would
be
want,
stinky.
though? I feel like you're missing
No.
the point of silly goose, because the silly goose is it's hypothetical.
I know it's hypothetical, but still at the same time,
Your little linear
geographically-
autism brain's like, no.
Mate, you
No
you've
hypotheticals.
seen when I get sat on a tangent, when you're just like, oh, this is a good silly goose, and you answer it, and then I'm like, that's all wrong there.
Really taking the fun out of the silly goose. Well, you're going to really hate this one then, because I came up with this one while I was driving. So, which way, my silly goose was based on the fact of, when people say, what superpower would you want to have? Yeah.
Yeah.
So assume that your superpower that you want to have is flying.
Mm-hmm.
How would you fly? Like, how would you like to fly? Would you just like to defy gravity as an object?
Just be
Or
like,
would you like to have wings? Would you like to have like a titanium suit, like fucking Iron Man? Like, how would you like to fly?
all of those things sound like it could go terribly wrong. And
Well,
with,
yeah.
with my track record,
Probably not the safest person to fly anyway.
I should be a flight risk.
Yeah, potentially.
No, I don't know, man. Maybe just float about. But I think seeing like a open weight strong woman just float about would be a bit weird.
Yeah, because when I thought about this, I would like wings, but I don't think I would like feathered wings because I feel like that's a lot of upkeep.
What, like dragon wings?
Yeah, like bat wings. But I would also
Mm.
like them to be able to be tucked away, slimline, so they weren't out all the time. Because I do quite like to lie on my back, and I feel like if you had wings,
Well, they just get absorbed into your body as you like.
I don't know if
wings
I'd want them
away.
to disappear, but I'd want them to be able to sit flush on my back, so that when I laid flat, I wasn't like, oh my god, it wasn't like lying on a fucking foam roller. Do you know what I mean? I'd want them to be flush.
My only question with that is, what is the structural integrity of those bat wings? Because bat wings, you can poke a hole for a bat wing real easy.
Nah, they're like leather, aren't they? But they'd have to be fairly big. But one hole through them, though, that's not going to do much damage. I'm still going to be able to fly.
It's a landing.
I think it would just be how you'd work it out, the landing. I think it would be a learned thing.
If you had a hole in your wing as a human, as a human bat, I'm putting a lot of thought into this. If you had a hole in your wing as a human bat and you were trying to land, you wouldn't be able to land properly.
It would depend on the size of the hole, though. If you think these wings are going to be like
Even
massive,
like that big a hole.
they're going to be like at least 6 foot either side of me. A small hole like that's going to do no difference. Someone could shoot me through that, and I'd be like, "Fuck off."
I need to think of the equation within physics to actually give you
That
some.
sounds like a fucking boring thing to do.
Thanks. This is my life.
But another thing, just while I was thinking of, have you ever seen a hot air balloon land?
Yeah, it like fumbles around.
Yeah, fumbles on the floor. Do you know you actually have to do a course to pilot a hot air balloon?
Yeah.
I didn't realise that they were real things.
You go too high, man. Like the helium, atmosphere and helium doesn't work very well.
I can't
together.
remember what had got me onto this train of thought
Pressurised
previously,
helium.
but I went to have
Is
a
it
look
helium?
at.
No, it's a hot air. Sorry.
I don't know what it is.
I was thinking of a blimp. If you, do you know
That's
those like,
helium.
yeah, if you fly those, they're not anymore actually. They're a different type of gas, and I can't remember what the gas is, but it's not as flammable, which is really good.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Yeah, because I feel
Yeah.
like if one of them go on fire, big bang.
Do you not ever read any of the stuff that happened in like World War II with like them being shot at and then they just went?
Do you think I look at any form of history of anything ever?
I find it really interesting.
Of course you do.
This is what I do in my spare time. I've been listening to a podcast whilst I was squatting today.
Of course you are. My brain's just full of nothing. I'm like, I think the interesting facts and I don't fact check them. I'm like your worst nightmare.
Can I give you a silly goose?
Go on then.
Right, there's lots of hypotheticals in this. So
Perfect, my favourite.
Catch up, right? You have to not catch up, keep up. Right. So, right. Option 1, right? You and 2 friends, right, can either, one of you can pick, doesn't matter who it is,
Okay.
to knock out someone's 2 front teeth.
Yeah.
And whoever loses those 2 front teeth
Mhm.
gets 100k a year
Mhm.
for 5 years.
Okay.
But they can't replace them teeth until the 4th year,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Or you and those 2 friends, no pain relief here either. And you can't have it done professionally. It's got to be one of you that knocks the teeth out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
You just like yam them out.
Yeah.
Or you and those 2 friends do like rock, paper, scissors, and one of you has to cut somebody else's toe off. Can be as close to hospital as possible, as much pain relief as you want as possible.
Right.
But you've got to cut someone's toe off. And as soon as you do it, you all get £1 million, and you get £1 million every 10 years. Indefinitely.
Oh, I'd let someone cut my toe off straight away.
See, I said this, and everyone was like, no.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'd let someone cut my toe off. What the fuck is my little toe doing?
No, it has to be a big
Pointless.
toe, mate.
Has to be.
I still think losing my toe, man.
But the structural integrity of your foot will really suffer without that big toe. And there's my biggest problem.
Nah.
Where are we cutting it off? From the base of the joint there, so it's just the end of the
Mate,
toe.
you think that if I'm cutting your toe off, you think that I'm going to be like, I'm going to get the base with my fucking...
Yeah, I want it cut off sensibly, so it's not like the whole toe. I want a little stumpy bit.
You want a little nub?
Yeah, if you think the joint line's there, I want you just in front of the joint line, so there's still a piece of toe there.
If I don't take that full toe off, you only get £500,000.
I wonder what the
And I get £1 million.
prosthetics are like for toes,
Extra turbines.
because that would potentially change my mind. But because realistically, I'd rather lose a toe and potentially gain what? £1 million? Well, how long have I got left to live? Maybe 30 years?
Yeah.
£3 million.
Mm.
Or I lose my 2 front teeth, because it's always going to be me that ends up in this situation. Because
I don't know, mate. Like,
I'd take one for the team just for the fucking money, to be honest.
I'd quite actually like to, like, I would be like...
But I only have the chance at
tribute.
500k there, and I have to live for 4 years with no 2 front teeth.
Yeah.
Or I just take my toe off. Problem solved.
I mean, no one sees your toe, do they?
I think I'd still go for the toe, and with the hope that the toe prosthetic that I get would be good enough for
Mate,
$1 million.
you get £1 million straight away. You
Well, I
can
know.
buy your own prosthetic.
You're going to
like-
buy a good toe, aren't you?
Mm.
Yeah. No, I think I'd choose the toe.
I mean, ultimately, you could just yam loads of peptide into that toe, because that's apparently how you regrow everything.
Regrow it back. Well, this brings us on to another point then. Do you reckon you could bite someone's big toe off?
Bite it off.
Yeah, me and Jenny have had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be able to bite your own finger off? I think that's what our previous silly goose has been in the past. Would you think you'd be able to bite your own finger off? Which I definitely think I could.
I mean,
I don't know if I could bite my own toe off mainly just because of mechanics.
Can I get this
So I
up
don't
here?
think, like, imagine that's not a
I'm-
comfortable position to be in, is it? And think how long you're going to have to take to bite a toe. It's a lot. It's a big, thick bone, that, in it.
I don't know if you get your piggy toe. If you've got good enough mobility to put your piggy toe in your mouth, I bet you could bite it
There's
off.
no way I'd get my little toe in my mouth. Not a chance.
No, I'm
Not comfortably.
we don't have to be comfortable. You're biting your fucking toe off. It's not going to be comfortable.
Yeah,
is
but you
it?
don't want to be uncomfortable everywhere else. The toes, the fucking least amount where it's just me hip cramping.
It's going to be me laid on the living room floor, like, can I get
Can
my-
I? Lewis comes in. You bite your toenails? No. Trying to bite their toe off. Duh.
Yeah, don't have children. Children will try and do stuff. Or at least my children will try and bite their own toenails off.
Yeah, to be fair, if I get a fucking little hangnail and I can't get it and I don't have like a pair of like clippers anywhere near me, I'll try and bite my toenail off. Like, I'm never successful. I always think I will be, and I'm always never successful.
It's like a dog chasing its tail.
Exactly, yeah. I always have to go and get a pair of scissors to cut it. It's sick.
Again, finger biting off. I think if you were raj enough in the head to do it, probably.
Yeah, no, I think I could easily bite my finger off. If someone said to me, like, I'll give you 10 grand to bite your finger off, I'd be like, sound.
Let's go.
There you go. If you want to sponsor me, I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. And if it's 10 grand, though, potentially not, I wouldn't bite it to the base. It would only probably take it off the first
I
try.
don't know. I could probably get that bit off.
Yeah, but for 10 grand, I'd happily take the end of my finger off. If you wanted the full finger, though, I'd be looking at probably more like...
You couldn't do a full
50K.
finger now because then your tattoo wouldn't spell. It wouldn't be right.
I always think this. Imagine if I lost my right hand and I just had teen. I just look like a nonce. So if I ever lose my right hand, I'm going to have to immediately change that tattoo.
To something else.
Something else, yeah,
if you
that
ever,
doesn't say
if you ever
teen.
lost that hand, you'd just get like a cool stump tattoo.
What?
Like you could just get.
Get a prosthetic and it says the same on it.
No, if you like lost the entire hand, you could just have third, like
On my stub.
on your stub.
I'd be like, here it is.
Here we go.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, that was a pretty good silly goose. Do we have anything else to finish the pod?
No.
Perfect, right, that's it. See you later. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Strong Woman Highs, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the podcast, then please give us a follow on Instagram. Or if you would like, we're also on buymeacoffee.com/strongwomanhighs. This is where you can send us tips, or you can also join our membership area, which is $5 a month or £4 a month. It's the silly gosling level. We'll post out any extra content that we get on there, and hopefully a few little like free giveaways of things as well. The podcast currently doesn't cost a lot to run, which is what we're trying to keep it as, but we would like to be able to cover our costs, and also once those costs are covered, any profit that is made on Strong Woman Highs will be getting saved up and put into a pot for future Strong Woman competitions that we can sponsor. So if you have a Strong Woman competition that you'd like to be sponsored, or if you want to be on the podcast, then give us a shout, send me a message on Instagram or on YouTube, anywhere else you can get us, and we'll get it sorted, because the more women that we can get on, the better. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye!